Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. And it looks like we're setting up for gloom, doom, and some heavy rain Friday into Saturday. So we're going to talk about that tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show at 7:35 p.m. Meteorologist Bill Goodman from the Weather Service office in Upton, New York, will, I think, be a special guest tonight, so we can cover all this completely. And Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. Mulch, topsoil, sand, and salt this winter. 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. So we're starting the process now of bringing in the clouds again. And as you know, I like to call it gloom and doom. Uh, just that because it just is miserable. It's cloudy, it's damp, it's dreary, and it's dismal. And that process is starting again today. You can see clouds already forming across southernmost New England and Long Island, New Jersey, back to eastern Pennsylvania. There are breaks, and if you go up to upstate New York and into interior parts of New England, it's still rather sunny. And all of this that we're going to be dealing with for tomorrow into Saturday, and actually probably starting later tonight, there's an upper low that is sitting in the Great Lakes. It's been there for the last several days, and it has kept a moist flow along the eastern seaboard. At the same time, we've had this very persistent onshore flow, that is, the winds coming in from the east. It's been that way for days and days and days. So while we did get a break yesterday with a high building down from the north with drier air, now we're seeing that moisture coming back. At least for now, when we look at the radar as of noontime, there's no rain going on in the eastern part of the United States. There are echoes being picked up by the radars offshore, and they're going to start backing north and northwestward as we move through this afternoon and into tonight. There might actually be this evening some echoes just off the New Jersey coast and just off the south shore of Long Island, and then we're going to watch this stuff continue to pivot on up to the northwest. Now, we should point out that the Weather Prediction Center of the Weather Service, which deals with precipitation, excess precipitation, and excess snowfall, is putting eastern Pennsylvania into southern New England in a marginal risk of flash flooding for Friday and a slight risk for flash flooding for much of central and northern New Jersey, the lower Hudson Valley, southern Connecticut, and Long Island. And the forecast from those folks is for anywhere from an inch and a half to some places as much as 2 to 3 inches, and a couple of stripes of bright red that you see there off the New Jersey coast. However, some of the short range models are kind of going nuts with the rainfall here for tomorrow into tomorrow night. The global models are showing far less. So that is going to be our conundrum for today, is trying to figure all that out. Notice it's mostly dry as you go from western New York and western Pennsylvania down through the southeastern part of the United States and across the Gulf states. Some heavier rains in South Florida, 3/4 of an inch to some pockets of an inch and a half from eastern New Mexico and West Texas northeastward up into Minnesota. And we've got some heavier precip also going on in the Pacific Northwest. So we've got the new GFS here, which does show some heavy rain coming in. This is, I'm going to just back so you can see the time frame up here. This is at 2 a.m. Friday, seeing some rain coming into coastal New Jersey and Long Island by tomorrow morning 8 a.m. It's raining Long Island, southern New England, back through central and southern New Jersey, and into parts of northeastern PA or eastern PA. Nothing especially heavy, but then as we go through the afternoon and evening, we see some areas of convection that develop and produce some heavier rains in the Hudson Valley, northwest New Jersey, and northeast PA. This is for Friday evening. And then as we move into Friday night into early Saturday morning, still see some lingering rain into Saturday morning. And after that, the weather conditions should start to improve. With a little luck, we might see it break out into some sun Saturday afternoon. And Sunday definitely looks like the better of the 2 weekend days with lots of sunshine, temperatures back into the 70s. The issue is, as we look at this, we've got a low developing offshore, not like last week that wound up turning into Tropical Storm Ophelia, but there is a low pressure area in this, what we refer to as an inverted trough that's along the eastern seaboard. The low itself is going way out, but it is throwing this arm back of heavier rain. And I just want to show you a couple of the other models. We can look at the HRRR model. And this one actually goes rather aggressive with the heavier rainfall, bringing it up into Long Island and Connecticut overnight, and then just kind of keeping it there with waves of heavy rain. Notice there's not a whole lot being indicated by this model west of New York City. It's more to the east. Of course, I can turn this around now and show you the NAM model, for example, which actually has a really big convective burst of rain in northern New Jersey and the Hudson Valley and in Connecticut by Friday morning, and it keeps it going all day in the Hudson Valley and then starts to generate some heavier rain for central and South Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania and parts of Long Island for Friday night into Saturday morning, and then ultimately it pulls away, but the improvement on Saturday will be slower. And these models are also generating some rather big rainfall amounts of 3, 4, 5 inches, while the global models are more on the lines of about an inch to 2, and maybe even a couple of pockets where we could wind up with some amounts that are higher. I'm sort of in between all this and trying to figure this out. So I want a little more time to get a better handle on this. We do have the first flood watches that are up for northwestern New Jersey. The Mount Holly Weather Service has put those up. Nothing up yet for the rest of eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England. I assume that the Weather Service offices are waiting to see what the dayside guidance shows as far as that is concerned. But we will, again, we'll figure it out later today when we have the Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, very quickly, just want to touch on the fact that we have 2 tropical storms out in the Atlantic. We have Philippe, which is east-northeast of the Leeward Islands by a pretty sizable distance, and 600 miles to the east of that. We have Tropical Storm Rena, which formed today. Neither of these systems seem to be moving very much. Rena's actually going north-northwest and trying to go around of Philippe to the north, which Philippe itself is pretty much stationary. Neither of these systems pose any threat to us. I just thought it was kind of interesting to show the fact that we've got these 2 tropical storms fairly close together. So we'll see you tonight at 7:35 on the Joe and Joe Weather Show.